We are absolutely soaking wet, so it's been so difficult to get this pond moved on. Well, there's no paddling today. It would actually go in my boots. Definite no. Well, welcome to the pond special edition. Those of you that watch my channel will know that my pond's been a bit of a saga. So I started off finding a liner in a reclamation yard for just £15, which was really cheap. And I thought, yep, I'd like a wildlife pond. So I decided I'd attack this bank behind me, which had been an area that had been used as a dumping ground for many years prior to me having the plot. And it was full of rocks, and I also revealed enormous amounts of plastic sheeting, which I've subsequently used under some paths. But I'll show you the bank and I'll tell you what I've got planned, and then we'll see if we can crack this pond once and for all. So last night I thought, how do I enable this pond to progress a bit quicker? And it was full of water following all the rain that we've had, and I thought, I know, I'll bail it out. So I bailed it out, got rid of all the water, and it was not dry, but there was no water in it. And this morning, well, we've got 2 or 3 inches, so that won't take me long to bail out, and then I'm going in. I might have a bit of a muddy boot sensation, but so be it. So this is the hole that I dug. As you can see, we've got about 5 or 6 inches of soil and the rest is clay. And subscribers have said, why don't you just leave it and allow it to fill up? But unfortunately, it drains away, as you can see. So I've taken all that material out and there it is. And I'm still deliberating quite what to do with all of that, but I'm sure it'll come to me in good time. I've created these ledges, and the idea is that I'm going to cover those ledges with a membrane right down and into the pond. And I'm doing that to stop the weed growth, which I know will occur in this ground if I don't. And then onto that membrane, I'm going to put an array of rocks so that effectively we've got a rockery leading to the pond. And of course the pond has a liner, and this is the liner. So I'm going to end up, I think, bailing it out again and then just making sure the liner fits nicely. It looks like we've got a bit of debris in there from all the rain that we've had over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I'll clear that out, re-establish my ledges, and we'll go from there. So step 1, get the rest of this water out. Let's go. I'm going to use the wheelbarrow for this because I don't want to just bail all that water out into the area that I'm going to work in. Here we go. Oh yes. Right. And then this water can go further down the plot where it's not going to get in my way. It's going to take some bailing. Well, that was like making fairly substantial mud pies. Hey, it was fun, but it's enabled me to get on. So I need to move these back out of the way so that I can bring this membrane down. I'll clear this shelf so that it's got the shape that I want, and then the membrane needs to go down and over the edge of this soil into the clay area, and then I can put the liner back on top of this. I just need to make sure there's no rocks protruding at the bottom, but it's not like putting down a butyl liner. When you've got a hard liner like this, you don't have to worry about punctures in the same way, but it's good to have a good surface. You could put sand down, but I don't think I'm going to need to. This is all fairly soft clay at the bottom. So get on, move these fellas, shape all of these shelves and go from there. So this covered bed here is an extension of my squash bed, and I've been putting everything I can into here, some compost, but mainly the dirt that I've excavated. So it'll be interesting to see how it's faring. There was quite a lot of turf turned upside down and put in here, and it'll be fine because it's covered, but it'll be interesting to see how it's looking. So let's pull it off. We'll get ready to move this membrane down the side of the bank. Well, that's looking pretty darn good. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. There's a little bit of grass growth here, but once I cover that back over, it'll be in a good place. So I only want this cover to drape over the edge, and if it won't go that far, it will need another bit of membrane. So I want to cover the mound, so it's got to go to there. Okay, so that's enough to cover the mound. Now let's see how far it goes down the slope. I'll just anchor this off so that it's not moving. Okay, so not far enough really, but that's okay. We'll just shape this into the bank here. That's as far as I need to go at the moment. I can pour it taut once I've got the rocks on there, and in the meantime I'll clear out this ledge and then find another piece of membrane that I can put under there and comes down and into the pond area. So let's get this shelf cleared. Right, I've got some membrane. This would have gone on my beds during the winter, but this one wasn't used. So what have we got? I think we're going to have to cut a few strips like that, and that'll help me get round the curve. So let's get this in place. That's about enough overlap. And then I'll cut it so that it goes underneath this top membrane, and it flows nicely then into the pond. So that's about the shape of it. I think if I cut around here, and then I'll go on and do the other two pieces, that should work. Well, that's pretty much what I'd anticipated. Seems to have gone around that curve quite well, cutting it in sections. And I think the next step is to get the liner in. Just make sure everything is going to work before I start putting any rocks on. And I'm going to put these rocks on first so that they really anchor everything down. And then I'm sure when I put them on here, it's going to pull a little bit on that side. So I just need to make sure I don't pull off from the path too much. So, liner time. I've been waiting for this for a long time, but things come to those who wait. Let's go. Now, if I remember rightly, there was a right way and a wrong way that this went into this hole. So let's pop it in and see if I get it right first time. That looks all right. Let's try it the other way. Well, both ways are okay. Let's have a look. I think if we have that lower shelf there, that would take the lily quite nicely that I've been given. So I think we'll have it that way around, and we'll fill some soil down into the back of this and see if we can get it nicely firmed up. What I am going to do is put some weight in here so that I know before I fill it that it's as low down as it can go. Right, I'm going to step in here just lightly. Yep, it's solid. I think I'm going to get a couple more because I really don't want this moving while I'm filling it up. Right, here we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to start off on this corner where I've always had a bit of a dip and see if I can carefully get this soft soil to ease down into the gap. That's going okay. I'll just push that down. It's going to take an awful lot more. It's going to be the solution for this huge hump to my left, because I'm going to use that soil just to get round the edges, and then I can get on with the ledge. So that's making some good use of this clay material that I took out. If I just take you down in here, you can see that I've got quite a good gap at the back, and I'm taking clay to that level, and then I can put some good soil on top of that, and we can plant into that, which will be nice next to the pond. I've filled out these shelves from underneath so that they've got support and rigidity. I just need to do the same down here, and probably a little bit down there and there, and then I think that's all I'm going to do in terms of filling round the pond for now, until I get some water in there. I don't want any pressure on the pond, and I know I've got a little pucker here, and that's always been there, but it'll help if the water's in here and can displace the edges. So I think next is fill in those little gaps around the side, and then we're on to putting the rocks in place. That's next. So often things work out as you go along, and this mound here was going to be a bit of a problem, but as I've cleared some of the top off, I can see that this could just carry on a little, and if I move some of that soil out of the way, I get a much more flatter arrangement, and we can see what we'll do with that. So I think I'm going to move this boulder, just take a little bit of this material away and get everything reasonably flat over here, and then I can start on the rocks. So this just happens to be the heaviest boulder of all. I'm going to roll it for now. Just means I've got to lift it when I go back, which I'm not looking forward to. So let's get rid of some of this. Okay, I think as far as earthworks are concerned, I'm done. And we'll just get this reasonably laid out. And then I'm on to the rocks. This is quite an exciting moment. Rocks around the pool. Good times. Okay, well that's a good first stab, and it can be adjusted if we need to when we're planting it. So I think the next step is to get some compost in these gaps, and then that can settle in, and then I'll fill it with water. So let's see how we go. The things we do for our art. So the plan is I suck on this tube and the water from the water butt comes down the tube and goes in the pond. I can't say I'm looking forward to it, and it's probably not the most hygienic thing I've ever done in my life, but it's got to be done because this pond has got to be filled. If I don't fill it, then one rainy day this will just float up, so there is no choice. Here we go, wish me luck. That doesn't work. Plan B. Only I don't have a plan B. I'll get thinking. Note to self, with these water hoses, take the plug out the other end before you siphon. It makes it a lot easier. And to be honest, that's all there is to it. Hope you enjoyed. Good times. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.